Hi and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about how I structure my weeks with a chronic illness, not to be productive, but to be supportive and to try and get the things done that I need to while still enjoying them. This video, I'm going to try give the best snapshot that I can and a little bit of advice, but remember to take these tools and apply them to your own life. Everyone's going to be so different in their routine, their structure, and what they need to make themselves feel better. So I hope you find it helpful and make sure to apply it to your situation. As I said, I don't structure my weeks to just be productive, but I structure them to be survivable, sustainable, kind to my nervous system, and enjoyable as much as possible. If you live with a chronic illness, you already know that energy isn't guaranteed and it's a kind of finite resource. So today I want to walk you through how I structure my weeks in a way that supports my health, my work, and my life without constantly pushing myself into crashes. One of the biggest shifts for me was accepting that energy is a limited resource. I often used to push myself to the extremes and was always exhausted and thought, well, what more can I do? But actually taking a step back, readjusting a lot of those thoughts and patterns, and making my week a little bit better structured helped me to adapt. I realized that energy is not something that I can will into existence. It's not something I can borrow from tomorrow without any consequences. So I think of energy like a budget. If I overspend early in the week, the rest of the week pays for it. So my goal isn't to maximize output, it's to protect that balance. I like to write things down, so at the start of each week, I organize things into 3 categories. Number 1 is non-negotiables, 2 is flexible tasks, and 3 is life things, and this changed everything for me. Non-negotiables are the things that have to happen for life to function this week. Appointments, essential work that I need to get done, basic care tasks, and they're basically the pillars that hold the week up. I try to keep this list as small and realistic as possible because these tasks already cost energy just by existing, and so that at the end of the week I can tick them off and make sure I've gotten them done. It's kind of a little bit of a reward system, but it makes me feel good to know I got the basic things done without overwhelming myself. I'm very lucky that I work for myself and I love the work that I do, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't cost any energy, and because I'm dealing with patients, I need to make sure I show up in the best way possible. Next up, we have flexible tasks. Flexible tasks are things I would like to do, but can move if my energy drops. Extra work, extra admin, and optional plans with friends, family, and catch-ups. If my body says no, these are the things that need to shift first. Not everything needs to be done today, and moving a task doesn't mean that I've failed. There's the third category, life things. These are usually 3 to 5 things each week that have nothing to do with productivity. They're not about progress, they're not just about the output and what am I specifically achieving. They're about feeling human. Things that fill my cup, catching up with friends, a gentle walk somewhere pretty. Just messaging a friend can sometimes require energy, but I do think that it's important when I have the capacity to do it. Reading, creating something just for joy, and resting without an agenda. I protect these just intentionally as work and do them as often as possible, at least 2 or 3 times a week, even if it's just sitting at the end of the day and watching a show on TV. Because a life built only around managing illness and responsibilities eventually becomes exhausting in a different way. Filling my cup isn't optional, it's a part of staying well. Another part of my week and what I've learned to integrate better and better is not just having to earn rest by being productive. I schedule rest first and into each day. Rest days aren't failure or empty space, they're part of a whole healthy ecosystem. Sometimes rest looks like full days off, sometimes it looks like lighter days, and sometimes it's just doing less than planned or stopping early or having a morning of work and an afternoon that's a little bit more quiet. All of those count. Depending on who you are watching this video, you might find rhythm or routine slightly more helpful than the other, but with work I do tend to follow a pretty strict and rigid routine, so the rest of my week is allowed to follow more of a rhythm. Some days are higher energy, some days are quieter, and some days are buffers for recovery. I plan my weeks with flexibility built in because symptoms don't follow calendars, and a good week isn't one where I do everything. It's one where I don't crash and I've tried to plan or prepare and rest where I can. When it comes to movement work and content creation, which I've been trying to do more of, I batch it when I can. Filming days are intentional, giving myself a buffer to be able to film and then edit at a later stage. Movement days are gentle and supportive, and I try avoid stacking high demand tasks back to back. Shorter sessions are more sustainable for me than long ones, and consistency comes from respecting limits, not ignoring them. So exercise, I try to do at least 2 to 5 times a week, and that might be 10-minute sessions, it might be 30-minute sessions. I might go to the gym, I might do them at home. It's more just that I'm moving my body in a way that feels good and intentional, and this is a combination of yoga, strength training, and cycling when I feel good. One of the hardest things to do when you're watching videos or looking at the people around you is letting go of that comparison. Able-bodied productivity timelines are very different. The online hustle culture can have an effect on us, and the pressure to do more faster. My week doesn't need to look impressive, it just needs to feel manageable for me. The title of success for me isn't about how much I necessarily accomplish every week. It's about how well I recover and how I can show up again next week. It's maintaining trust with my body and making space for life, not just survival. If you're struggling to structure your time with chronic illness, just start small. Don't try to juggle too many things at once. Start with one area: movement, exercise, breathing, joy, and look at the different tasks that you can do. Protect your energy, schedule rest, and make room for things that you enjoy as well. Remember those life things we spoke about earlier? You don't need a perfect system, you need one that supports you. If this video was helpful, you're welcome to share your experience in the comments, and know that you're doing the best that you can with the energy that you have, and that is enough.